Sheila, alright? But before we go and do some reading, I want us to think more carefully about a dilemma which is on the board. So, if you are sorry for carrying out a bad deed, then this cancels out what you've done. Alright? Now, before you talk to anyone, I'd like you to be silent for about a minute to think about where you stand on the continuum line. Okay, so no writing yet, just having a think. So 0 being no, makes absolutely no difference at all. Who cares if you're sorry? To 10 being yeah, if you're sorry for what you've done, that makes a real difference. Okay, so 10 being yes, 0 being no, not at all. Right, I just want you to sit there for a minute quietly and have a think about where you would place yourself initially on the continuum line. Okay, so just for a minute, and then I want you to talk to the person next to you, but not yet. Okay. Okay, obviously you've got to be able to justify. Think about not just your number, but your justification for it. Right, that's plenty of silence. Okay, talk to the person next to you, not your whole group, just the person next to you. You've got 30 more seconds and then I'm going to go back to whole class. 30 seconds. Formulate your thoughts. Okay, thanks very much, Year 11. Thank you. Right, ready to go round? Start with my ladies, go with your numbers, go. 5, 6, 5. Lads?
5, 4, 2.
Okay. Boys?
5, 6, 7.
Jack Dempsey. 4, 3, 6, 6. Okay. 3.
6.
6?
3.
Oh, sorry, 3, pardon me.
6. 2. 2.
Sam and James, and that's it. Interesting that so far, none of you think that if you're sorry for carrying out a bad deed, then this cancels out what you've done. So let's start going into it and seeing what you think. Okay, Alex, will you kick us off with why you've gone for 2?
I think that, because if you've done something bad, and it's off the back of someone else, so they've asked you to say, I said to James kill Lorcan, and he killed Lorcan, but they went, oh, I'm sorry, in the courtroom. They wouldn't go, oh, we're going to let you off of that, it's fine, you won't go to prison for it. You still go to prison for it, so you can't really justify carrying out, and I know that's like the extreme, but say it was even something small, and that's if we're talking about not just calling someone something and then saying, oh, sorry about that, or bumping them in the street, but if it was something else.
Okay, let's pause. Alex says that if you say sorry, it will affect what happens in a courtroom. Is that important, or is there other reasons why you might say sorry? Okay, Jack, argue back with Alex.
You asked a question.
You said forgiveness, so I'm interested in what you're going to talk about.
Well,
Why does forgiveness matter?
some people may just want to be forgiven for what they've done.
Right, okay. So then if you say sorry for something that you've done wrong, and your motive is that you want forgiveness from someone, is that a good gesture or actually a selfish one?
It's a mix of two, because you want to feel forgiven, but then also you're offering, well, you're saying you were wrong, so you're actually admitting that you were wrong, so that's why you're apologising. So it's kind of a mix of both.
Okay. Alright, Sam, you've heard Jack, and you've heard Alex. You also went for 2. What are your thoughts?
Because as the person, the spectrum being wronged, your absolution is to do with how you handle it, so I wouldn't say it actually mattered if the person was sorry or not.
So you think there are no circumstances where being sorry makes a difference to what the person's done?
It should be within the person who's been wronged's head and not what the offender has done.
Okay. Let's pause on the 2s. Would you raise your hand if you were a 6? Who was a 6? So Jacob, Faye, and Dan, and a few more, and George,
Yes.
and Tilly. Okay, Faye, you can start us off on your 6. You're feeling more moderate than the 2s. What's your thoughts?
I think if someone does something bad, then they're sorry for it, shows they're not they're not all bad, and they've done something wrong, but then if they can regret it, it shows that it's not really them, but still it doesn't totally cancel out because the damage is done, and they can say sorry, but it won't repair what they've done.
Okay. Alright, but you do think it should be taken into account?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because it shows their character a bit, I think.
Okay. Alright, let's see if anybody else agrees. George, you went for a 6 as well.
I'd rather go 4.
You changed your mind?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me now why you've changed your mind from a 6 to a 4.
I didn't understand the scale, so I just changed my mind.
Okay, so tell me now then why 4.
Because I feel sorry for something, but you've still done it, and therefore I'm still in the wrong.
Okay. So, I want you to go back to having a discussion, and here's my follow-on question now. Have you ever been in a situation yourself then, where you've apologised for doing something? If you still continue with these numbers, you just told me that apologising for something really doesn't make that much difference. So the question is, why have you ever bothered apologising for anything? Talk please, go, 6 seconds. Why bother? Never apologise Can you give me a specific example where the idea of accident might cross?
That's what I did. Where to start?
It's my fault that it was a total accident. What do you do? I ran over the child. Final 10 seconds, please. Don't come back for hot dogs.
We are what we are people do. Excellent.
Okay, thanks very much, Julian. Thank you. Okay, now, lads over here have brought in the concept of accidents. George may be an accident, we'll find out after that, Jack. Now, accidents. I've just said to them, what if I ran over your child? Okay? What if I ran over your child? Yes, and do you want to share with the rest of the class some of the ideas we were discussing?
Depends if it's your fault or not.
It's totally my fault, but it was an accident. An animal ran out in front of me, I swerved, but I still hit your child and killed it.
So sorry does contribute, but it doesn't do a whole lot to it, so that's why I pick 5. It depends on how extreme it is.
How does my sorry make a positive contribution to you if I've killed your child? Huh? He's not sure at the moment. Alex A, can you tell me what you think? I've killed your child, it's an accident, it is my fault though.
Yeah.
Does sorry contribute?
Yeah, I think it does.
Can you tell me why?
Because, well, you'd rather think someone did it by accident and they weren't. You'd be more annoyed if they were trying to do it, obviously. So I think if they're, you want them to be actually sorry about it. I think just saying sorry doesn't make that much of a difference. I think if they're actually sorry, that can make a difference to how you feel about what's happened.
Okay, James, you want to respond to that?
So like, not respond, but if you hit some child by accident, and they probably know that it was an accident, if you don't say sorry, then you might seem like a horrible person who's hit someone's child and don't say sorry at all.
Okay. But ultimately, I can't take the deed back. So if I keep saying sorry, it might make you feel better, but it doesn't alter the event, perhaps. Lorcan, finish off the discussion, please, before we move on.
I think that actually it does depend on the severity of the situation and whether actually it can be rectified. Because if you had sworn at somebody or if you were momentarily angry and it's quite inconsequential, an apology could be quite significant to somebody else's peace of mind. However, if, for example, murder or manslaughter, or those deeds cannot actually be undone, and therefore it would be more difficult to seek forgiveness from the person from the victim of this.
Okay. So your final point is that if you can rectify your actions, it's worth saying sorry. If you can't, it may not make much of a difference. Okay, all right. Okay, so page 23